Harry Kane allegedly discovered he earns less than Jude Bellingham from a shared sponsor deal after a mistaken email leaked commercial rates at England's training camp in Guadalajara, 3 days before the World Cup opener at Estadio Azteca. This wasn't just some disagreement. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't the press blowing things out of proportion. This is serious. Nothing like this has ever been seen days before the start of a World Cup. And there's a detail the FA still hasn't confirmed publicly. Sources close to the squad insist a marketing executive accidentally text both players on an internal email revealing appearance fees, and Bellingham's rate exceeded Kane's by a substantial margin. And the worst still hasn't come out. Over the next few minutes, you're going to understand exactly what happened and why this turns England's World Cup upside down. This is bigger than anyone expected. When this happens 72 hours before your opening match, it's not just about money. It's about hierarchy, captaincy, and who truly leads this squad. And behind the scenes, it's worse than it looks. It all started when Harry Kane attended a sponsor event at the team hotel in Guadalajara on June 5th. According to reports circulating, Kane was checking his phone during a recovery session when the email arrived. He stopped mid-stretch, read it twice, then reportedly confronted the FA's commercial liaison immediately, demanding an explanation for why his captain's contract paid less than a younger teammate's deal. Sources say Kane raised the issue informally with Jude Bellingham later that day, suggesting Bellingham should have declined the higher rate out of respect for team hierarchy. Bellingham reportedly responded that contracts reflect current market value, not sentiment, and that Kane's representatives had negotiated their own deal years earlier without consulting anyone. That's when everything changed. The confrontation allegedly peaked during a closed-door team meeting in the tactical suite on the evening of June 8th. Harry Kane, seated at the head of the table wearing the captain's armband, reportedly addressed the squad about unity and respect for those who paved the way. His tone measured, but the subtext unmistakable. Jude Bellingham, positioned across the room beside Declan Rice, allegedly leaned back and folded his arms, maintaining eye contact. When Thomas Tuchel invited responses, Bellingham reportedly said his contract was a private matter between him and his representatives and suggested the focus should be on tactics, not off-field business. Kane's jaw tightened visibly. Several players glanced at the floor. Tuchel ended the meeting abruptly without his usual closing motivational speech. The room fell completely silent. However, the real problem had started months earlier. This didn't come out of nowhere. Kane had allegedly expressed frustration privately after Bellingham was granted permission to film a sponsor campaign in Madrid during an international break, while Kane's similar request was denied. Tactical disagreements had also surfaced, with Tuchel reportedly experimenting with a fluid attacking system that sometimes saw Kane drop deep while Bellingham pushed higher, blurring traditional positional authority. Squad insiders suggest Kane felt undermined when Bellingham was chosen for pre-match press duties ahead of a qualifier, a role typically reserved for the captain. The commercial imbalance simply crystallized months of simmering resentment about whose era this truly is. And hold on, because the most controversial detail I've saved for the end. Inside the dressing room, Declan Rice and Bukayo Saka reportedly avoided taking sides, focusing on preparation. Though privately, some squad members sympathized with Bellingham's position that contracts are individual business. Phil Foden and Marcus Rashford watched silently, calculating their own positions in the squad pecking order. Thomas Tuchel's coaching staff allegedly debated whether to address the issue formally or let it resolve naturally. The FA's commercial department reportedly scrambled to review all player endorsement deals, concerned about further leaks. On social media, fans split predictably. Kane loyalists defended his legacy and captaincy, arguing England's record goalscorer deserves premium recognition. Younger supporters countered that Bellingham's Champions League success with Real Madrid and global profile justify premium rates in modern sponsorship economics. England's opener is less than 72 hours away. Thomas Tuchel must decide whether to address the squad again or trust the players to compartmentalize. Tactically, the incident could influence whether Tuchel sticks with Harry Kane as the central striker or experiments with a more fluid system that distributes goal-scoring responsibility across Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, and Bukayo Saka. The FA faces pressure to standardize commercial protocol to prevent future leaks. Speculation grows about whether Kane will retain the armband beyond the group stage if tensions persist. Now Thomas Tuchel is caught between two bad decisions. If he publicly backs Harry Kane, he risks alienating Jude Bellingham and the younger generation who see the captain as resistant to inevitable change, potentially fracturing the dressing room ahead of the tournament. But if he sides with Bellingham or remains neutral, he undermines Kane's authority as captain and risks losing the tactical discipline and experience that Kane's leadership provides in high-pressure knockout matches at Estadio Azteca and beyond. What almost nobody noticed was this. A squad source allegedly observed Harry Kane left the team dinner early that night, the first time he'd skipped a pre-match meal as captain. And fresh reports suggest a recording of the tactical suite exchange exists, captured inadvertently on a coach's tablet left running during the meeting. This is the weight of a fracture that nobody saw coming. And look, this is far from over. This is the information circulating so far. Over the next few hours, new details should trickle out. And they could turn this whole story upside down. So for you, should England's captain always be the highest paid player in the squad? Or do modern sponsorships reflect who truly drives global attention right now? Let us know in the comments below. And if you don't want to miss the next major development, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Because when this fully breaks, you'll want to be the first to know, not the last.